In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create the spin transition effect in Premiere Pro. To begin, I've imported these two clips onto my timeline over here. The first thing we need to do is to create an adjustment layer. To do that, come over to the project panel over here, select this new item icon over here, select adjustment layer, hit OK, and drag your adjustment layer onto your timeline over here. I'm going to move my player to the center of my clip over here, hold down shift and move 2 frames backward, and I'm going to trim the adjustment layer. Hold down shift and move 20 frames forward and trim the adjustment layer, and move my playhead back to the middle of the cut over here. Next, go over to the effects tab and search for the replicate effect. Select the adjustment layer, hold down Alt and drag it one track above to duplicate it. Select the replicate effect and apply it to the bottom adjustment layer, and come over to the replicate in effects control and increase the count to 3. Next, search for the mirror effect, select it and add it to the bottom adjustment layer 4 times. Now the next thing we need to do is to set the reflection angle for the first mirror effect to 90 and adjust the Y reflection center until we have this perfect alignment. To get this, we're going to leave it at 719 if you are using a 1920 by 1080 sequence. For the second mirror, we're going to set the reflection angle to -90 and change the Y value to 360. And for the third mirror, we're going to change the reflection angle to 180 and set the X reflection center to 640. And for the final one, we're going to leave the reflection angle at 0, but set the X value to 1279. This is the perfect settings for 1920 by 1080 sequence. The next thing you need to do is to come over to the Effects tab and search for the Transform effect and apply Transform to the top adjustment layer over here. And in Effects Control, deselect Use Composition Shutter Angle and set the shutter angle to 180 and set the scale to 300. Hold down Shift and hit the left arrow key twice to move to the start of your adjustment layer, and toggle on the stopwatch next to rotation, and hold down shift and hit the right arrow key 4 times to move to the end of the adjustment layer, and change the value for rotation to 360, and select the first keyframe, right click and ease in, and right click once more and ease out, and select the last keyframe, right click and ease in, and right click and ease out, and select the arrow next to rotation. To see this better, we can adjust the top adjustment layer slightly so that we can see these keyframes better, and you can zoom this down so you can see it better. Now if we select one keyframe and move our playhead to the center of this clip, we can move this keyframe slightly closer to each other, but make sure that they remain on a straight line. And now we can take this adjustment layer back to its former state. And if I go back now and hit play, you can see what we've created.